Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos at Germethius Games. Um, I just wanted to take some time and show you a new game I started playing literally this year, just back at around Christmas. In fact, when I bought it, I spent about 4 days almost nonstop, quitting just long enough to take care of obligations I had and, some sleep in there. But otherwise, I was pretty much logged into this the whole time. Now, I do have this, and I have been playing it on Oculus Rift. But I tried several times to make this video using the Rift, but the problem is that the head movements are really jarry, and what I can see wearing the headset and what actually records on the screen tend to be two different things. Like, for instance, my headset, I look like I'm looking down and everything is great, but it turns out that my computer recording it, you can only see about half the screen. So, plus, apparently, I make a lot of little head nods that I am unaware of because the screen was just super shaky. So, to combat all that and to be able to provide this tutorial in a method that you can actually kind of see what's going on, I have elected to use the desktop version of this game. Yes, it can be played in desktop mode. It can be played in VR mode. It is also available on PlayStation, and you can use the PlayStation VR. And I think it can be played just through like non-VR PlayStation, but don't quote me on that one. All right. So anyway, this video is the Helm officer video, and if you've played the game or you've watched the videos where you do the tutorials, um, then you know that the tutorials cover basically an overview of everything. I wanted to go a little bit further and provide some extra little tidbits that I've discovered while manning all these stations, and some stuff that even when in playing, listening to people comment or say that maybe they didn't know or that they knew that the game just doesn't come out to tell you. Excuse me. So, looking at everything that's available here at the Helm, I'm not going to go through the what does this do, what does that do, because I'm going to assume you've played or either played the tutorial, you've played the game, or you've watched enough videos by now to understand what the bulk of this stuff does. I just want to talk about some of the nuances. So, without further ado, let's talk Helm Officer. Helm Officer. Some key things that just right off the bat you should know that will save you a lot of trouble and probably help the rest of your bridge crew. First, to your advantage, get the captain to put this information on the screen, speed and heading. This is great while steering. You have it down here, but being able to look at the view screen is beautiful too. Because as you can see, all these little metal pieces here, these obstacles, they will affect your ability to fly the ship because you have to navigate around them. But if you look here, you don't really get to see those things out that are out here. You don't, for instance, this big bulky mass of metal does not show up here. That is not what this is. This, if you click on it, is okay. That is a derelict ship, but this piece right here in front of us is not showing up. So if you were to just start flying straight by looking here, you would not see it. Um, so putting this heading and stuff, it allows you just to look up here, especially in areas where there are huge asteroids, because asteroids do not show up on this. I really did not realize that that derelict ship did. But, okay, it's just one piece. I guess it's the bigger mass of the derelict ship. Let's see. Yep, see it right there. Sure enough. It's that big chunk, but there's nothing to represent that chunk out in front of us. So, highly recommend getting the captain to put this. That way you can navigate based on what the heading says up there. You can look down here to see where you're going. Like, for instance, if I pick this, it will show me that I need to be at heading 093, so I can just turn until I find 093. And this thing is determined to prove me wrong about the debris. It keeps popping stuff up there. Let's see, maybe I am wrong. Maybe this debris is here. Let me turn back this way and see. Okay, sure enough, yep, there's that debris piece right there. Okay, so it got me on the debris. But I can promise you, asteroids are not always on here, and you will run into a lot of those. So some stuff apparently gets to be on here, some stuff does not. Anyway, but I still recommend having this up here and navigating so you can see what's on the view screen as well as this, but also just being able to look up here and know what your headings are. So another thing I suggest that you just kind of put into your mind right now, this panel right here, this transporter system intrusion panel, this isn't for you. This is not yours. Captains, let your helm officer not use this. Don't make them use this. Transporter, give it to ops over here, to engineering. They are in a much better position to use this. And then system intrusion, also give it to tactical, because tactical is the one who can best use the system intrusion stuff, because they're the ones who has to do the scans and take stuff down in order for that to work. Transporter, it's given to the transporter is given to the engineering station on the next generation ship and on the original series ship. So just for consistency and continuity, give it to engineering on this ship. If you don't have somebody playing engineering, sure, by all means, make Helm take over transporter. But if there's somebody here at all, let them handle the transporter, unless maybe they're just an absolute noob and they're going to be a little busy. But really, I don't recommend this as the beginner player newbie station. Helm is a good place for beginners. I mean, they have to learn on these others some point, but ops is not where I would start. So anyway, those are the two big things just right off the bat I would say keep in mind. Now, couple of little nuances, and honestly, there's not a lot to the helm that I can say that there needs to be in depth, because most of it is intuitive. Finer aspects, really, the zoom. Okay, most of the time for the helm, you can turn it all the way up and pretty much leave it up and forget it. There are occasions where turning it down helps out here, because sometimes, especially for enemy ships or things that you're looking for, you just may not be able to see them unless you've adjusted this one way or the other. Because when you adjust too far out, you basically can knock things off your screen, and so bringing it back down, you can bring those further things out. So, but really, that, like I said, most of the time you can maximize that and be done. One of the big things that I have found when playing with other people is that they don't realize that they can go into exterior view and actually fly the ship. And especially during combat situations or even in heavy asteroid fields, exterior view flying is the better way to go. Because you have a better view of what's around you. You can avoid things. The only thing you can't really see sometimes are nebulas or anomalies that will affect you. But for chasing down ships and keeping them aligned so tactical can shoot them, for uh, basic maneuverations, this really is the better view, the exterior view. So just know that as the helm officer, you can fly the ship in this view, and it is a lot easier, especially if you're using the Oculus Rift or even a controller on PlayStation. I would imagine, as you get that joystick control ability, and it can be a lot better than trying to use these to do your tighter turns and whatnot. Um, so really, those are the major things. Oh, and I guess I should say, while we're talking about exterior view, this is one of the reasons why I say the helmsman should not be responsible for tactical intrusion or transporters, is because they don't get any kind of heads-up display in this view, and they can't see the console. Wrong button. The console for doing these things. So if you put them into this view and or if you put them to one of these things and they're trying to fly the ship out here, they're going to constantly have it to come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, in order to do the different things. And I might have been a little excessive on the back and forth thing, but you get my point. Their precision is in flight, being able to see this. They don't need to be messing with this stuff here. And outside of that, um, warp courses here, impulses there. Like I said, not going to go too much into this. So, oh, one of the things surprisingly that does come up also a lot is how to get the ship to turn faster. And some basic, now I call it basic, but I've found that this is actually an advanced idea. The tutorial actually addresses this, but it doesn't do a great job of pointing it out. So I'm going to point it out just real quick. Um, Basically, first, if you want the ship to turn around faster, then go put your ship into like reverse speed. You will spin a lot faster than doing it at full power. Like if I go to full power, you're basically going to make your turn arc a lot wider at full power than if you do this. So if the enemy or your target destination or your target is behind you, go full reverse speed and then spin around. You'll come about much faster, and you can, if you watch my little screen right here, you can even see. So there we go. I am spinning around, and it's not bad. It's just not fast. But if I do this, now you see I'm turning even faster. Now, one of the other things that, yeah, stop. One of the other things to take note, this up and down thing is literally up and down. So if you watch this piece here or watch the little debris outside the viewer, if I do this, you'll see the debris is going up. That's because the ship is physically going down. If I do this, they go down because the ship is physically moving up. And then there's left and right. Okay? So be aware of that. Like I said, left and right, everybody understands. It's this up and down concept that they don't realize. It's not a tilt the ship up or down. It's literally move the ship up and down. So like, for instance, if I go to exterior view and I pull this same thing, I think that's the button. Yeah, okay. Say like in exterior view, if you'll notice here, I've got it going down. You can tell by the movement of the debris, but notice that the ship is not tilting at all. Okay, and I'm going to switch and go the other way. So the ship isn't tilting, it is literally moving up and down. So keeping that in mind is that you're not doing a tilt, you're doing a up and down. And I have yet to discover a way to tilt the ship. If there is one, please post in the comments. Let me know, because you'd be teaching me something. I think tilting could be useful, but up and down works too. Really about all you need it for is to get under and around obstacles a little bit quicker. So, because you either have to go over obstacles, under them, or around them. Plus, like for instance, in the Borg encounter, the Borg have trouble firing if you're under them or directly above them. So that works out really well too. So anyway, that is all I have for this video. If you've got any other tips or suggestions on the Helm, then please post in the comments. Let us all know. I like learning new things. So, other than that, I leave you to enjoy your time questing and adventuring. This is a really fun game. Love it. And would recommend it for any Star Trek fan. So, have a good one, and we will catch you next time.